Okay, so the next step, I did dry this, so you can take a blow dryer and you can dry it. If you need to redo something, go ahead and redo it by just doing the same streaking effect if you need to, alternating black and white, light paintbrush strokes. That'll give you the streaking effect. And then dry it again, and whenever you're ready. Make sure you wipe off your paintbrush and that your background is fairly dry to almost dry. You don't want it to be tacky because then you'll start picking up the paint behind it. So just please make sure that everything is nice and dry. Another good thing to have is chalk. Chalk is wonderful because it just absorbs into the paint, and then also when you're done painting and you still have some chalk left over on your canvas, when everything is dry, you can just take a dry paper towel and then just wipe it off. So as you can see, I sort of drew an outline. This kind of gives you a visual guide on what you want to do. So to do the pink ribbon, as you notice, the thing about the pink ribbon is it actually looks like a number 6. So if you draw the number 6 like that, and then continue on the last portion of that ribbon right over here. So you'll draw the number 6 first, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to make that number 6 thicker. So then you'll basically draw another number 6 and then connect the ribbon. And so that's pretty much what your ribbon is going to be. And so basically a number 6 just with a continuation of that line. Or you can, it's the Jesus fish symbol. If you want to do it that way, you can do that way also. It's the same thing. And then what you're going to do is you're going to figure out your placement of your flowers. You can do however many you want to do. You can do them small. You can do a couple, 3 large ones, whichever you want to do. Another good thing to remember is whenever you are going to be painting in numbers, for some reason odd numbers are actually better than even numbers. So as you can see, I have 7 flowers rather than 6. You can do 5, but for some reason odd numbers look a lot better in arts. So you can put them anywhere you want, and I just did little circles where I felt like I think the flowers look okay. And then what we'll do is once you get your circles on, if you want, you can do, you know, little U's to make your actual petals, or you can do that while you're painting. So whichever one you choose to do, go ahead and do. And again, if you don't like it, then wipe it off and it goes away. So let's get going. What we're going to do first is we're going to actually paint our pink ribbon. You can use the same brush that you used before, or you can use a smaller one. It's whichever one is easier for you to do. So you're going to make sure that your paintbrush is wet, and since I don't have pink, I'm going to have to make pink. So what you're going to do is you're going to make pink by using a little bit of red and a lot of white. So the more red you add, the deeper the hue of pink you're going to get. Now, I'm a big fan of not making a solid color. I like it when it actually streaks. I feel like that gives it more of a dimension when you do that. So I don't fully mix my paint. I just mix it enough to where it's the actual color that I want. And then I go forward from that. So let's go ahead, and you're going to load up your brush so it looks like a bead of paint, lots of paint on there, and you're going to just kind of make that number 6. So you could either paint it by using the long side of your paintbrush, or you can outline it first, whichever one you feel more comfortable doing. And then you're just going to paint your 6 on. And the reason why I like only doing streaking, or I don't like mixing my paint, because I feel like it gives it dimension when you only, when you don't mix your paint. See how I've got like light and dark? It actually looks like you've got shadowing happening. That's why I like doing it this way. I feel like it's, I don't know, a little bit more visually appealing. So when I hit my curve, it's going to be a lot easier if I turn my paintbrush more vertical, and then I'm going to outline the inner portion of the 6. Now what you're going to do is you're going to keep this part of the 6 a continuation, which means you are not going to overlap when you get over into this ribbon. You don't want to overlap that. So make sure this is going to be a continuation all the way around. And you're going to stop once you get to here. Now I actually did mine kind of off of the painting. Again, it's another one of those kind of painter's tricks. It actually gives it more of an illusion that you're it's coming off of the page here. So the thing about this, to kind of give it a shadowing effect, since this ribbon is actually overlapping here, I'm actually going to make this one a little bit darker right along the edge. And I just pulled more red into it. Now that's really dark, so I'm just going to make sure I'm going to go back over it again. And I'm going to pull it, and I'm just making it darker right along that side. See how you can see how the difference on that is? So then I'm going to finish up right around here. I'm going to bring my paint brush back down over here. You can continue it from right about here, or you can start bringing it around here, whichever you feel more comfortable doing. Nice swoop of paint there. Now make sure on this you want this to be a continued kind of painting here, so one nice line up and over. There you go. So now I'm just going to finish this portion of the ribbon, and again I'm going to make it just a little bit darker. And I'm just only putting the paint on the corner so you can see that the dark is right here. So on my paintbrush, I want the dark to be on the side that I'm going to put on the canvas, if that makes sense. So you're going to have the dark on that side, which is going to be continuation from over here. So the dark is going to be on my right side of my paintbrush. And so I'm just going to bring this over, and I'm going to stop once I get to here. And again, you're just going to pick up more paint. Now, if you don't like coming in towards the painting, you could always go out the other way, so you can start from the other side. And again, I'm just going over it a couple times so I can get what I like. So if you don't like coming in towards the painting because you're afraid you're going to hit here, then go out that way. You can do that. That's not a problem. See, same thing. So there you go. There's going to be your ribbon. Now I left a little bit of a gap in between there, so it looks like this is overlapping this. So if you leave just a tiny bit of gap in there, it gives your eye kind of a visual that this is going to be overlapping. So we are done on that portion. You can go ahead and wipe off your paintbrush. Get some clean water if you want. And I think we will move on to the flowers. So for the flowers, if you want to, you can kind of choose what you want to do when it comes to the actual middle portion of the flower by adding, if you want to do orange in the middle with a little bit of blue on your petals, you can do that. We can do blue stems if you want to do blue stems. Let's see. I'm going to pause it and I will decide here in just a second what we're going to do.